Um, welcome back to another video on a loop. I've to the name while loop 2. Since the other video, I did made a simple expression on while loop, and then I said we will dive into it and then do a practical example on it to see how we can use the while loop in the real life programming. Okay, so from here I really have a simple question on the screen over here. This is the simple question that we're gonna read through and see how we can solve this kind of question using while loop. Okay, so let's go ahead and then read on this question. It says a plant that manufactures ions profiles has a batch of n pieces. Okay, have a batch of n pieces, which simplify the n total of the pieces of ions. Okay, it says make a program that asks to enter by keyboard, okay, the quantity of pieces, which is the n, okay, to process and then enter the length of each profile, knowing that the piece whose length is compressed in the range of 1.30 are hot, optional, or they can be used. Okay, simply as that, and print on the screen the number of fit pieces in the lot, or fit pieces that we can simply use them. Okay, so above from the question, when we analyze it, we can see we must have a variable which count or sums the number of pieces. So basically I can determine that we have int variable, okay, that represents the quantity, simple as that, to process and then enter the length, knowing that pieces whose length is comprised specified over here. So once we have the variable n, okay, let's declare scanner class. Scanner input equals okay. System dot. I do love at times to skip all these things to make time. Okay, yeah. So from here we say we should make the user print the number of the pieces of the ion profiles that we are going to use. Okay, so we say system. I'm gonna pause this video for a while and then do those things. Okay, back to the programming. I have declared some variables and then adding some notification or adding some expressions to it. Okay, so let's have a look at the variable n. The n, it says the n represents the quantity of pieces to process. Okay, and variable x count if the input that's equals to the quantity, which is the n, and we have a quantity that the question says we should print on the screen the number of fit pieces in the process, or the fit pieces that can be used. Okay, so from there we will simply go ahead using the while loop to check if the x, okay, if the x does equals to the n as specified from above. We simply go ahead calling our while option. Okay, say from annotation, I simply choose it. So we say while the x, okay, is less than or equals to the n, okay, then within this we proceed on coding the rest. So while the x is less than or equals to n, okay, we print to the screen. Okay, let me copy from here so I can get more time. So we print on the screen, enter the measurement of the parts, okay, enter the measurement of the parts, enter the measurement, okay, the measurement of the parts, simple the part of the piece, okay, the parts, okay. Then we declare a new variable to hold that. Let's use a decimal, okay, using going for the double, okay, double, let's make it double, okay, long equals to, sorry, double, okay, I will rectify it later. Double not equals to input dot next double, okay, from here that's it. So this is a keyword from Java, okay, so I should change it. Double f, let me make it something like that. Double f equals to this and that. From then we should check, okay, since the question that says make a program that asks to enter the keyboard, enter by keyboard the quantity of pieces, we have done that, okay, to process, and then enter the length of each profile. So the length of each profile, that is what we have taken care of right now, okay, that's what we have taken care of right now. And knowing that the piece whose length, okay, the length is compressed in the range, okay, so we now going to use the if statement to check whether this long f, okay, compresses within the range which the question has specified. So we go in for the if conditional statement. Simple as that, because we can use switch to check, we can use those types, but dealing with range, I think it's easy for us to use the if statement. So we check if the long f, that's the part of that, is greater than or equals to one of our options, which is the 1.20, okay, and strictly, okay, strictly using the and strictly check if at the same time the long, okay, the long f, which is from here, that's less than what or equals to 1.30, okay, yeah, we check if the length, because from the questions it does says the length is compressed in the range, so the range is 1.0 to what 1.3, so we check if the length is greater than or equals to 1.20 and that's less than this 1.30. What this annotation does is, or what this double and over here does, is strictly checked if the variables or the values being entered fall within this part. So once it falls within, then we have gotten a quantity, or we have gotten a certain a count piece that we should increase that. So we will say the quantity, okay, the quantity equals to the initial quantity which we already have plus what, plus 1, okay, then we increase the count by that. We say is the if the length or the part falls within that, we are counting, okay, we count from here, which is 0, then we count 0 equals to 0 plus 1, then plus 1, 0 plus 1 gives us 1, then 1 or whatever that figure we may already have plus 1, then it keeps on counting. If the part that the user may input, okay, fall within this, then we count the number of quantity, okay. Then from here, don't forget that we use the x, okay, we use the s to call for a hot of this thing. If the x is less than or equals to the number already specified. So from here, if this equals to that, then we say that the x must be equals to x plus 1. So we can increase the 1 to meet the number of pieces that we will be what we will be we use the x to count if the pieces or the measurement that we have taken, okay, it exact or equals to the number of quantities that we specified previously. So from then we print to the console, okay, we print to the console the actual results that it is demanding, or the question says print on the screen the number of its pieces in the lot. Okay, so we print out the quantity, simply the quantity. Okay, then we say let me copy from here the number of its piece. Okay, the number of its piece. Okay, the number of its pieces, just like that. Okay, then I simply use quantity. Okay, quantity. Okay, so let me run this command and see what the outcome may be. How many pieces will process? Let's say we are processing 4 pieces profile of iron, so I have 1.20 number of fit pieces. Sorry. Let me do this again. I thought I'm coding I'm coding Kotlin. Sorry, thought I'm coding Kotlin. Okay, and I say quantity. Okay, then if n is less than or equals to, okay, let me run the program again. How many pieces will process? Okay, I will say 4. Enter the measurement of the part. Okay, I will say 1. Sorry, let me check it. Okay, let me check it. Okay, yeah, from here, okay, let's go ahead and then execute the code again once everything is entered. Then okay, so how many pieces will process? Okay, let's say we are going to process 4 ions. Okay, then we enter the measurement of the parts. Then the first part is let me have 2 correct, 1.2, okay, 3, 2, okay, yeah, and then is 0, because we have the options to be 1, 2, 3, remaining 1. Okay, so let's say 6. Okay, so from the number of fit pieces are 1. Okay, how sure it is? Okay, let's see from the question above if the part is greater than or equals to. Okay, if it is greater than or equals to 1.20 and at the same time less than or equals to, or less than or equals to 1.30, from then we will have the statement to be right to be increase the count. Okay, so on the first note we had 1.2, which is equals to 1.2 from the question, and again we enter the measurement of the part to be 2, which is above this kind which is above the conditional statement that we have over here. Okay, and then we have the amount the measurement part also to be 0, and which of course it doesn't fall, and the other one to be 6. Okay, so from this example you can simply use recombine a while loop with if to solve this kind of question. Okay, So basically, this is how we can use a while loop with a if statement, conditional statement, to solve a simple question like this. There can be another question also that you can use the while and the for loop to solve the question. So depending on the kind of question, depending on the kind of program that you may face, will determine how to program to solve that. Right? Okay. Thanks you guys for watching.